I think the best thing to do is really like show that whatever you're doing live, do it with wholeheartedly. You know, like do it really just like.
No, I don't think there's a problem in using electronics when performing live. I think there's a problem in ignoring the audience when performing live. I've seen people using laptops live that have done like really impressive performances, whereas I've seen people like using like a stage full of equipment and being like the most boring performers that I've ever seen.
Just the laptop itself.
Yeah.
I find it really boring myself personally. But I used to be seduced by it years ago, but I think for me, if you do a show, you do a show, and I like when it's spectacular and there's a lot of stuff going on.
To know that you have to show them what you're doing in some way. They don't have to understand what the light or the knob is about. They just have to see, oh, when you touch that thing, it made that sound, you know.
Christophe Migon, like that made me switch to electronic. I remember seeing Christophe doing a show of improv before I knew him. Then we met, we talked and stuff, and it's like a totally absurd and stupid kind of like way, but I got seduced by his setup.
I saw Jim O'Rourke at Victoriaville a few years ago, and he was just, he was kind of like this, and playing on his laptop, and I don't know if he was consciously presenting himself in that kind of as if he was bored or just anywhere, but happened to be on stage in front of people. I sort of like that because that kind of non-gesture is a gesture. It's a conscious decision to be kind of true to the instrument and not. I mean, there are also cases of people who play the laptop and try to kind of be expressive with it, which is even way more ridiculous.
David Christian that you interviewed, I like his presence on stage. Like he's like someone that plays with machine, but he's really there, and that's great to see someone like totally invested.
Yeah.
No, what I want people to see is I want them to see my hand going to the control and moving it. That way, when they hear something go, they'll know that it's because I went like this with my hand, and then they'll know, oh, that's what caused the wah sound. So that wah sound was live. It was.
To equate performance with something gestural or visible, I think is a mistake. The key is that the performance happens in sound if it happens to be a musical performance.
The worst situation for me is having them sitting and talking amongst themselves and like I'm just wallpaper on the wall. That drives me bananas, so to speak. But I still go on what I'm doing. Makes it work harder to try and grab their attention. Sitting down listening intently is pretty good as well. Anything where I feel I look up and I see that I've captured their attention and I've moved one or two people in the audience, whether it be people dancing or sitting, as long as there's that interaction, you know, that type of energy going between yourself and them. I'm actually, it's funny, I'm one of the few electronic artists that prefers live performance over studio. A lot of artists, if you ask them to play a show, they're kind of like, oh, it's a show, I don't really want to go out and play. For me, I actually love playing live. I love the interaction. I love seeing people moved by what I'm doing.
Say I prefer studio as my preference in terms of making works.
Even Tim, like I like how Tim these
Tim
days
is changing
like,
his approach to that.
He's playing laptop, but he's like performing stupid stuff at the same time, and I think that's like,
It's completely retarded.
I did a sort of joke performance where I dressed up like a warlock and sort of did a sort of rendition of the Dark Crystal. And it was more of a performative effect. I brought in stuffed animals and smoke machines, and it was almost, you need to pander to the crowd's appetites. You know, all this technology raises a whole host of questions. Like, what is the modern composer? Is he a, is he a coder or is he a musician? I think that it's a real problem in the type of music I do, this kind of fetishistic approach with technology. For me, it's a bit more love-hate. So how do you discern value in this? At what point does the human almost become irrelevant in it?
like the Mutech people, and I'm really not scared of bashing them because I hate them. Because I've been playing the first Mutech and Eric Matson and Ali Mongeau are total assholes. And it's like, yeah, I know it's Dave, but I'm happy with that. And Eric's gonna push me, but it's true that they're kind of jerk. But it's more that idea of like, that's the music of the future, but finally what they want is to produce parties and have fun with their friends, and not even like they just create this kind of yuppie kind of